Hello everybody and welcome back to the FM23 Youth Academy only save with Guiseley AFC, and it's the end of season 4 and we're diving into the end of season review. So let's go and have a look at how the season unfolded in the 2026-27 season. Going into the new arrivals then, well, nothing. We didn't have any players in. We released a load of players, so this is all nonsense, to be honest. We got a B. Great. The board are very pleased with the decision to release Jake Cassidy. They were pleased to get the players with salary off the club's wage bill. My microphone's all over the place. Hang on a second. There we go. Fix that up. Yeah, excellent. All right, loans out. Very unhappy about the decision to loan him out. Feels he could have commanded a loan fee. I don't think so. He's pretty shocking. I mean, his physicals aren't too bad. But, yeah, not fussed about that. Season's results then. The FA Cup third round. The Boars were pleased. Not delighted. Not, exuberant, not ecstatic. They were pleased that we reached the third round of the FA Cup. Brilliant. Knocked out to West Ham. It gave us loads of money. Some good wins along the way though. 4-0 against Needham Market, 3-0 against Matlock, 3-3 with Gateshead, 1-0 win over there, 2-1 over Gillingham, 3-2 over Rochdale, and then we got smashed 8-0 by West Ham away from home. 23% attendance for the FA Cup, which is a little bit disappointing, but Hamid Kazim was our top goal scorer with 5, and the board was satisfied that we tried our best in the FA Trophy, losing in our first round, which was the second round, to Kettering Town, so not fussed about that. Right, biggest win, 6-0 against Brackley Town. Kazim got a hat-trick in that one, Johnson got 2, and Ampadu got 1 as well. 4-1 win over Alfreton Town was the match to remember. Not the 2-1 over Gillingham or the 3-2 against Rochdale. Awesome. I assume it has to be a league game. And goal of the season went to Chippendale, actually, who scored. The central midfielder, delighted fans and pundits alike by scoring a well-struck effort from distance. Should we go and have a look at that one? 12 minutes into the game against Southport. Let's go and have a little look at this. It will load up in 2D because that's what I've been playing in again. Oh, it's an assist by Harper, actually. So the youngster giving an assist to Chippendale for this one. I want to pause it. So Tarmi's picked up the ball here. It's just been headed away. Let's pop this back into... Let's go sideline for this, and we'll lower the speed a little bit because it's going to be absolutely rapid. So it was flicked away. Harper gave it into Chippendale. Oh, yeah, lovely finish. What a goal that is from Chippendale. One of the easiest assists Harper's ever going to have. But a lovely little finish from Chippendale, who got himself an 8 rating in that game. Now, obviously, because we're doing the end of season review, it's pretty obvious we didn't get into the playoffs, so apologies for those spoilers. But yeah, reputation hasn't grown. We've gone down in broadcast revenue, which is odd because we got through further in the FA Cup, but there you go. Corporate and hospitality went up. Competition prize money was much, much bigger, this one. Match day commercial and retail went up, as well as did a little bit of sponsorship money. 9, Hort, Tarmi, Byrne, Kazim and Jordan, all the big sellers, which is good because we're not getting rid of any of those players this year. This is how we mainly lined up. 4-2-3-1. Hort, Tarmi, Chippendale, Kazim is the front sort of 4. Harper and Salt in front of the midfield, in front of the defence, which was Smith, Knight, Byrne, Jordan, with obviously Trenary in goal, which I was quite excited about. If we have a look then, so in terms of accolades, we didn't win anything. Club awards, Callum Chippendale won Fans Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season was Shane Tarmi. Goal of the season was Callum Chippendale. Top goal scorer with 30 goals was Adam Hoare. Shane Tarmi was top assister with 10. Most player of the match awards was Callum Chippendale with 7. He also got the highest average rating and most passes completed per 90, which was awesome from Paul Byrne. Record breaker wise, Carl Trenary got 15 clean sheets, which is the most in a season ever. Adam Hoare is now the record holder of appearances with 220, which is good for him. And he's got the most league goals by a player with 106. Callum Chippendale has the fastest goal ever for the club in 37 seconds, which is absolutely ludicrous. And yeah, we flew out of the trap, setting ourselves up well for the season, and we got rolling early on and we never looked back, which is good. Here is the timeline, which is pretty useless in these saves where you're not really moving. But yeah, good stuff. Let's go and check out some player stats. So before we get into the player stats, then a quick look at the table. 9th position, so again, a year on improvement from last year. And yeah, pretty solid actually, all the way for the whole season between 7th and 14th. So really fixing ourselves in as a mid-table team this season, which is good. We did have this little run at the end and a really good run of fixtures, which maybe could have seen us sneak into the playoffs, but we just fell a little bit short with our last 3 games. A 1-0 loss to Oxford, a 0-0 with Buxton, and a 4-1 win against Alfreton Town at the end of the season. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy. I'm very happy. There seems to be a consistent number of or set of teams that get into the playoffs, and they're the teams we need to focus on beating next year. Your Scarboroughs, Kettering Town, Curzon Ashton, Darlington, Kings Lynn have gone up as league. I imagine Darlington are probably going to win the playoffs, but we'll have to see how that unfolds. But all round, not a bad season in terms of how we did and where we finished. I was quite happy with that. If we have a quick look, yeah, here's the league table then. So you can see 46 games played, 20 wins, 16 draws, 10 losses, 92 goals scored, 60 goals against, giving us a goal difference of 32. So not bad, a lot better than a lot of teams in front of us as well, and 76 points. So still a little bit far off the playoff spots. Surely end of season form, 5 wins back to back. So they're going into the playoffs in great form at the moment. But yeah, it's just that turning those draws. 16 draws again. 6 of those wins will be up around here somewhere. So yeah, we've just got to be a little bit more clinical and crucial in front of goal. But we do say farewell to Lowestoft Town and Farsley, who both came up last season. Hemel Hempstead and Hitchin have gone down. Hitchin in their lovely away purple kit have gone down as well. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting system. And I did want to touch on that Alfreton game that we finished the season with 4-1. If we click on the actual game and go into it, you'll notice we played a completely full youth intake squad. The whole 16 was youth intake players only. And yeah, we won 4-1, which is good. We played Havetzi in goal, our young Hungarian. Jordan, who came through, I think, the first youth intake. Was he the first? Yeah, intake season 1. Jordan was in there from season 1, which is awesome. Byrne from season 2, Knight from season 3, and Mayumba from season 4. So a back 4. Completely made up of all the intakes we've had across all the seasons. Salt from season 3 and Adams from this season, season 4. McFadden from season 3. Harper from season 2. Tarmy from season 3. And Johnson from season 3 or 2, I want to say. What was he? He was season 2. So, yeah, good little mix. And then on the bench, we had Topless Burrow, who's come in this season. Warhurst last season. O'Keefe this season. Cadrich 2 seasons ago. And Ampadu in season 1 as well. So, this sort of showed that, you know, Alfreton were a mid-table team. They didn't have much to play for in terms of the league season, but we did play a full-on league team, mid-table league team with our youth team and all youth intake players, and we beat them 4-1 very comfortably. So that was absolutely cracking to see. Happy with that. And we will get on to player stats in a minute, but quickly, I know a lot of you are interested in finances. We've ended the season at a little bit of a loss, but we have invested that £1.5 million into the youth training, as we said in the last episode, which was awesome. Maybe could have kept it in the bank and kept the balance going up, but given that our income has been pretty positive, where we're not spending any sort of transfers and things like that, I'm not too upset with the fact that we're going to be starting in the negative for this one. So you can see here out 1.54 million, and we got in 1.1, so it put us about 300,000 in debt, or 300,000. There you go. This season 300,000 overspend, but yeah, I'm not too fussed. It's going to hopefully produce better youngsters, so that is what we need. Right, into the squad then. So if we go into average rating, highest performing player in 1 and starting appearance and 2 sub appearances was right back Topless Burrow, who's just come in. 3 appearances, 1 assist, 7.55. He looks like he's going to be pretty good for us, as is Mayumba, the wing back on the other side. But looking at players that have played, I'd say, over 10 games is probably a good way to look at it. Callum Chippendale at 38. He's just earned himself a new contract with the season he's put in. He's also a leader in our mentor groups as well for determination and trying to get some of our more lower determined players up a little bit higher, which is useful. Following him, Shane Tarmy. We mentioned this guy, and Paul Byrne, to be fair. 7.16 over the season and 7.15 for these two. Shane Tarmy on that left wing has been just so good. We're training him now to get forward whenever possible in case we want to play him a bit further back. But yeah, really good. It shows, I think it goes to show how much of a different physical attributes make at this sort of level, because he's so good physically, and that sort of shows. 40 appearances this season in the league, 13 goals, 8 assists, 7.17, And the key thing with Tammy, he's only 19, so he is still going to get better. Lots of progression this season, starting just to ease out a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see how much we get out of him next year as well, and if there's an improvement there. And Paul Byrne the same. I think he's got these good sort of physical stats around where he needs them for defending. He still dives into tackles and he still hasn't learned not to, and we're still trying to train in that, but he is really on and up at the moment. You can see his progression in the top right here about how well he's been doing. But really, really good. 42 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches, 7.16, getting better year on year. And very excited to see what he can do going in to the next few seasons. His centre-back partner became Les Knight, who got a 7.05 overall. 17 years old. Again, he's got some physical attributes that will help him out at this level, which is interesting. And he, again, is on a bit of a rise in terms of his progression with the game time he's been getting this year. 31 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, 7.07. Lovely stuff. Apologies for that cut there. I was really needing to sneeze, and my sneezes are quite loud. So, yeah, we got rid of that one. Mohammed, in terms of the older players then, that are sort of statesmen here, Kazim is still here as well. He's still doing pretty well, although his progress in terms of development is dropping off a bit. 14 goals, 8 assists, 39 appearances this year, 6.99. Callum Chippendale, we've sort of already looked at. He's played 32 appearances back-to-back, and he did this year was better than last year with goals, 14 compared to 6, 4 assists compared to 9, but a 7.28 average rating overall is pretty good for Callum Chippendale there. In terms of goal scorers, though, it's the name you would expect at the top. Adam Hoare, we saw him earlier in top goal scorer. Yeah, he's still putting the goals in. I think his development has very much stopped, and I don't know how long he's going to be our first choice striker for much longer. But he's got 58 goals in the last two seasons, so I think we're a bit foolish to drop him just yet. But, Adam Hoare doing a really good job for us up front. Behind him is Kazim, and then Tammy with 15, Chippendale with 15, and John Johnson as a backup striker scoring 10 goals in a season is very, very handy indeed. So 36 appearances in the league, 7 goals, 4 assists, a 6.74. Didn't quite match last year, but is looking very good for us into next year. And I'm looking forward to bringing in the next round of youngsters and seeing how they do and how we get in towards next season. So we're going to have the off season to sort out our tactics, sort out our training, do all of our development, and also go into training a little bit more so that we can have a look at things like this. But yes, I know a lot of you have been saying mentoring groups. I do have mentoring groups. So we have Hoare is in here because he's fairly determined to try and change the personality of Moyumba and Warhurst. Chippendale's in here as well to try and get Cadrich and Adams and away from unambitious to a bit more professional or determined. Kazim's in here to try and help these unambitious guys as well. And Skinner and Les Knight are being mentored by George Smith. So I know there's been some stuff about mentoring groups. There's comments saying, use the mentoring groups. I am doing it all in the background. I just don't feel like it's the best thing to show that often in the series at the moment. So, yeah, there we go. Individual training's all set up as well. And while we're on training, people always go into your units and make sure that the right defensive and attacking units have the correct people in it. For example, we had Shane Tarmy in the defensive unit because he was because he used to be a wing back. You need to go in and change these people because this is how they get team chemistry and get an understanding of how people work. They're working on the right things when you do your training schedules. So if you go into here, I can't do it now because I can't show you, but if you looked on like attacking movement, it would have certain things for the attacking unit to work on, the defensive unit to work on, the goalkeepers to work on. So yes, that is crucial, looking at units and making sure you've got the right people in. And you can add in players from the under-18s if you want them to get some first team experience. This is how you call up youngsters to first team training without put them in the first team squad. Very helpful, people. Make sure you do it in your saves, not only in Youth Academy saves, but in all your saves. It's absolutely crucial. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. The news items are all just around what we've been through for the end of season review. 9th position, 2 places off the playoffs, but quite some points still to make up. Is next year our year for the playoffs? We'll have to find out. We'll be back very soon for the first, we're about 15 games into the next season. We'll be back to go through where we are and what's been happening. Thank you so much for watching. Your support is really appreciated. We're getting close to Christmas. We're very close to 7,000 subscribers. Before Christmas would be massive. So please do drop a like and a subscription if you're enjoying the series. And I'll catch you very soon for the next one. Cheers.